Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back today. Today, we're going to talk about BaPhuthi, linguistic history of BaPhuthi. So, we are going to look or to examine the possible origin of BaPhuthi. So, the method that we're going to be using, we're going to focus on using what we call contemporary method and theories to understand the origin or where this actually the distribution of BaPhuthi, so that we can then be able to understand whether it's possible to combine their language or codify it, whether their language ever existed as a unity or they were just here to have this kind of conversation about BaPhuthi is to create an awareness about the importance of preservation and retention of indigenous knowledge system in the form of languages, because language preserved cultures, language express the identity of the nation. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you today and discuss the issue of BaPhuthi. So, before we go on, we need to understand who are BaPhuthi. Many oral historians, as well as missionaries, colonial government, have tried to construct what we call the identity of BaPhuthi based on their observations, information from oral custodians who are associated with BaPhuthi. So my presentation will be based on those kind of information, ethnological records, oral history, that was actually gathered from different areas. I got this information from different museums. Those are the places that I visited. But this was, I find it is necessary to speak about BaPhuthi because they are one of the most influential tribes in South Africa, given that they are the diverse people and they are very interesting to talk about. Hence, their culture and language, it's not known among many among our community. So today we are going to give highlights in order to create awareness for those who want to understand their cultures so that they can go deeper and study their structure of the languages. So BaPhuthi are the people that are found in southern part of Africa. They are found in Limpopo province of South Africa, the Botswana. They are found in Lesotho. They are also found in Northern Cape, Northwest, and Eastern Cape. So they are diverse people. They are found in different. But we want to ask. What very interesting is that what are the language? What is it that they were speaking? What the kind of the language they were speaking? Because they are found in Northern Sotho, they are found in Western Sotho, Botswana, and they are found in Southern Sothos, close to the Xhosa people. So what we would like to ask is that what kind of language do they speak? Because now we found out where they are distributed. Okay. There is no evidence to support the hypothesis that BaPhuthi are homogeneous. There is no evidence to support, although the academic side and some so-called missionaries, they would like us to believe. I understand that one of the prominent person who started to speak about BaPhuthi was the Reverend David Friedrich Engelberg, who was a Swiss French missionary. He wrote extensively and he was one of the first person, actually among the first people to create awareness about the existence of this tribe known as BaPhuthi. So contemporary linguistic theories that we have actually make it difficult for us to understand the linguistic background of BaPhuthi, simply because of the fact that many people who are writing about the language of Phuthi or Phuthi, they don't have background of anthropology, linguistic, and a contemporary understanding of the theories that are used to understand the retention of the cultures. So we have got people who, for that kind of, because they are speaking from that particular side, they tend to be biased. That's why today we don't even know how many BaPhuthi we have in South Africa or in Botswana or Lesotho. The most famous BaPhuthi are the ones that are found in among Xhosa people. So many people are not aware that there are BaPhuthi who are distributed all over Southern Africa. We hope that through contemporary linguistic theories, which is actually powered by new technology, will then be able to understand the diffusion of the Sephuthi language and the structural based on structural linguistic. Although the AI is taking over, but oral history remain important factors of preservation of the languages. For instance, technology does not have human interaction, and unlike oral historians where people can use story to trace the origin of the particular phrase of language or proverb, you can then be used through human contact and conducting workshop. So like I said earlier on, that BaPhuthi are not homogeneous people. They are actually heterogeneous. Although some anthropologists believe that their genetics heritage, it's diverse, it also includes indigenous people. That one we can attest to them, because especially those who live in the among Botswana, in the Northern Cape, as well as among Xhosas, we can see that they do have actually, and those who live in some parts of Limpopo, especially those around Sileka, they do have genetic makeup of indigenous people. But one of the famous theories about these people known as BaPhuthi is the theory that associates them with the AmaZizi, Xhosas, Southern Sotho, Ndebeles, and AmaZizi people. And it is said that the formation of this group known as BaPhuthi, they are the product what we call violence, colonial violence and ethnic violence that are known to have been emanated in the southern part of Africa, the war and societies. So now, for us to be able to understand whether BaPhuthi have got their own language or it's just a group of the people that are scattered around southern Africa with the language, adopting the language of the host. Today we are going to look at the distribution of BaPhuthi. Once we understand where they're located in the region, we can then be able to understand exactly whether they do have the same languages. Okay, let's start from Limpopo. The BaPhuthi in Limpopo, according to ethnological records, they are found in the place known as Kaferskral. Kaferskral, it's also Kauleti, and some of them are distributed around waterberg farms. They were distributed around waterberg farms in Limpopo areas, known as Lepalale, around Lepalale. These BaPhuthi actually are influenced, those who in Limpopo are influenced by Basotho Baleboa, which is Northern Sotho, and the Northern Ndebeles. Some of them, they do have Botswana influence. They call BaPhuthi Bagoseleka. In the Northwest Province, we also have this group of BaPhuthi. In the Northwest Province, BaPhuthi are found in Moretele local municipalities in the Northwest. They called BaPhuthi Baganawe. Now, Baganawa. BaPhuthi Baganawa. So they are found in Muting. These are another BaPhuthi groups. The one that are in the Northwest, they actually speak Setswana. They are influenced by Setswana. The one in Limpopo, they are influenced by Northern Ndebele and Northern Sotho languages. Those are the one in the Waterberg. There is another one group of BaPhuthi, the one that live in Northern Cape. They are found in ZF Makawe district municipalities. Makawe district municipalities. There is a place called Rintfontein. They're found around there. Those are BaPhuthi. Most of those people, their name is Deker. They don't use Phuthi. Some of them, because of the I think it is the African influence, they use Deker instead of Phuthi. But they are BaPhuthi. They're found in Rintfontein. Rintfontein in Northern Cape under ZF Makua districts municipalities. We have got the one that are more famous, the one that are in Matitiela, that are associated with Xhosa people. So they are there in Matitiela, this BaPhuthi. This one in Matitiela, they speak Xhosa and Sothos. You see, whereas in the Northern Cape, the one that are in Renton Fontaine in F. Macau district, they are influenced by Tswanas. Some of them are Afrikaans. They speak Afrikaans. We also have some of them that are scattered in Bushbuck Ridge, around Nilesprit and then areas in Mpumalanga. But they are not coordinated in such a way that you can find their villages. They just live among their hosting areas. Unlike those who are living in Limpopo, Free State, Northern Cape, and Northwest, where you find community and villages of BaPhuthi. And we also have the one that live in Lesotho, the Lesotho ones. The Lesotho ones are popular because of their king, known as Muorosi. In Setswana, but Muorosi with G, whereas in Sotho it doesn't have G. So they live in the southern part of Lesotho, and then they also have Nguni influence. We also have another one, clans that live in Botswana. The Botswana one, it's more or less the same as the one that live in Limpopo. They are BaPhuthi Baho Seleka. They reside in Seleka part of Botswana. If you go to those villages like Tumasera, you'll find them. In the central district of Botswana, you'll find them. But the one from Botswana does not claim Nguni origins. Like others, if you look at all those who are from Limpopo, they claim to be Ndebeles, associated Ndebele. The one from the northwest also have Ndebele link. But they are Tswana Ndebele link, and then Northern Capes, they appear to be Tswanas. And then Northern Cape, they are Xhosas, they mix Xhosa, Amatlubi, and then those from Lesotho also mix with AmaZizi, Ngunis, or stuff like that. But now, the question is, what kind of language do BaPhuthi speaks? They say they speak Phuthi. Now, we need to examine whether Phuthi is homogeneous languages. No, Phuthi is heterogeneous. So therefore, there is no so-called proper Phuthi. A Mophuthi can speak Northern Sotho, can speak Setswana, can speak Southern Sotho, and still accept it. So therefore, the concept of having proper Phuthi does not exist. So what I'm trying to say is that while there's a need to confirm or to promote Phuthi identity, linguistic identity, we also need to examine the distribution or take into consideration the geographical location of BaPhuthi as a major factor to contribute to the identity of their languages. So in effort to preserve their culture and language, we need to bear in mind that their geographical location will remain a factor that will determine the survival of their languages. For those who live in Limpopo, isiNdebele or Northern Sotho will remain their partners to protect and preserve their language. Those who are in the Northwest, they will need to work with the Botswana to protect their languages, because without that collaboration, culture of BaPhuthi will disappear. Even those who are in the Northern Cape, in Reit Fontaine, they will need to collaborate with Botswana to protect their heritage. They appear to be a very strong group here. So how do we bring them together? We need to bring these people together, maybe through workshop, physical contact, so that they can be able to share cultural similarities, and that they can then be able to revive some of Asian practices. Because now we have figured out that BaPhuthi are one of the largest group that was displaced through wars, cattle raiding, violence in our history. Therefore, we need to capture their historical moment and use that kind of particular moment as a tool to reclaim their linguistic identities. So, as I have noted, you can see that the geographical distribution of BaPhuthi influenced their linguistic identity than their cultures. So a Mophuthi that is in Limpopo will gravitate towards Ndebele and Northern Sotho than Southern Sothos. Therefore, a priority for cultural linguistic retention will be focusing on their relationship with their immediate surrounding in order to preserve their language. It's very important to preserve that language, which many scholars are not talking about this. And we really need to create an awareness about this particular language like Phuthi, by encouraging young Phuthi people to be proud of their cultures, to try to, preserve that particular cultures. So most importantly, even some parts of Limpopo province, I never mention it, like you go to Capricorn region, you go to Mopani, they are Baphuthi, but they are scatters. The reason why I didn't mention them, and just like those are in Mpumalanga, they are scatters. So they don't have villages where you can find them, unlike in the waterback areas. And then in Botswana, Northern Cape, Northwest, as well as those who are close to Eastern Cape and Free State and Lesotho, where you can find Baphuthi in the villages. So what I'm trying to say is that in effort to preserve their language, first of all, we need to understand their cultures. Once we understand cultures, we can then be able to classify them into different categories, not to separate them, and encourage them to get together. You cannot expect Muphuthi who live in Limpopo or Botswana to have influence of Zulu languages. You expect them to have Ndebeles. When I say Ndebele, I need to be specific. Ndebele, it's a social construct. I'm not referring to Ndebele of Muzilikazi, kama Shobane. Muzilikazi Ndebeles are not actually Ndebeles. They are anthropological Ndebeles. They are not, it's not identity. They are not, Ndebele is not identities. They are anthropological Ndebeles, which means their identity were imposed by colonial government. So, because if you look at the history of Ndebeles, they arrived in the Highveld in 1835. Therefore, by then when they arrived in the Highveld, the group like Baphuthi already existed. This Baphuthi, actually, it appears like they're from Swaziland. As I indicated earlier on, that the present day Swaziland, according to historians, it was inhabited by the Sotho group, Mpumalanga, the Sotho-Tswana group. Then you can see that kind of theory now, when they say they are AmaZizi and they speak mixture of the Ngunis and Sothos, it actually supports that theories. Evidence support that theories, that they are part of Ngunis. Now, the reason why many missionaries, they wanted to face Phuthi languages is because it was competing with the Swati languages. Yeah, therefore they find it necessary to face it out. So it's what you call engineering. What do you call it was engineer, what do you call the system that is used by anthropology to engineering system, linguistic engineering system, whereby you eliminate other language in order for other language to survive. But the good things about Phuthi is that it's not going to die now or soon. It's still going to expand or actually evolve through what you call distribution of these languages. Like, technology is going to also assist, but we must use it effectively, because technology cannot be trusted. It misrepresent or it misinterpret, although it will benefit us. But having said that, I was just trying to give you a background of the distribution of Baphuthi in the southern Africa. Like, Baphuthi are not homogeneous, they are actually heterogeneous. They are found among northern Sotho, among Botswana, among southern Sotho. Therefore, when we speak about the language of Phuthi, we will need to